Hello, and a very warm welcome to Cultural Communication Confidence with me, Victoria Reynoldson. And it is wonderful to be back recording some more solo episodes, some brand new topics for you. It's been a little while. We've had a summer season of LinkedIn Live replays. We've had a series of amazing guests joining us here on the show. And today I'm bringing you some fresh new topics, some brand new ideas for you to help you with your cultural communication confidence. And today we're going to start actually a mini series focusing in on the topic of becoming a global leader, as I know this is a topic which is top of mind for many of you. We're going to look at it in three different ways. And today we're particularly focusing on sharing your unique value and getting more visible. I am really excited to talk about this topic because I know the difference it makes when I work with somebody and they recognize and fully acknowledge the great things that they're doing, the amazing value that they bring, not only in what they do within their current role, but to their team and their organization. So what we're going to be talking about here today is, how do we do this? How do we recognize our own value? How do we step it up when getting more visible and sharing that so people also recognize the value that we bring? And this is going to be a super practical podcast episode here today. So make sure that you have a pen and paper, or if you want to, you can pause at various points as I ask you these questions. But this is going to really help you get the most from today. So let's get straight into it. The first question I want you to ask yourself is, who are you? That might sound like a very strange question, and maybe one that you don't often stop and ask yourself. But honestly, have you really thought about who you are? How are you seen within your current organization where you work today? Do you understand the strengths that you bring? Do you understand the value that you're bringing, the things that you deliver, the projects? If you look back maybe the last 12 months, like what have you actually delivered that has delivered value ultimately for your team and for your organization? Are you really thinking about the wins that you are gaining? And this could be small things that you're achieving on a weekly basis, or it could be the delivery of a major task or project that you're working on. I think that we are all unique. We are all unique humans and individuals. And sometimes it's so easy to get busy doing the doing that we forget to do the other part of this, which is the acknowledgement, the recognition, the self-acknowledgement, in fact, that we are doing a great thing. And you may be reliant on others around you, perhaps through performance management or the regular meetings that you have with people you report into to give you that feedback. But I think it's really important to do it for yourself, to recognize, who are you? How are you unique? What is it that you are specifically great at? This isn't about being arrogant at all, but this is absolutely about recognizing that you have something special that you bring. And if this is a challenging exercise for you, then make it a micro step. Think about specifically the last month. What is it that you did that was a great achievement? What was something that you did that was a particular win? If you can, start thinking about this on a weekly basis and see how you very quickly build up a long list of things around how you are uniquely adding value. So it starts with this question, who are you? The other part of this is a reflection on who you are today. But I want you to also think about who you are tomorrow. And this is a really interesting idea, but what what is it that you want to focus on in the future? What would you like to get into more or have more exposure in your work? Are there new areas where you would like to contribute? Really consider this. Like, what would you like to be known for in your organization? How do you see yourself as a thought leader or expert, even if you're not there yet? You're developing that knowledge or skills or expertise. So consider this part of the question as well. Who are you tomorrow, not only today? Once you've completed those reflections, you should have a very good picture of you. Where we want to go to next is how do we make that known to others so that builds up our professional reputation, it enhances our personal brand, and people in our organization recognize what we do and the brilliance that we bring. Again, not in a big headed or arrogant way, but more in a way to really understand that we are doing great things in our careers. So, there are 3 parts to this that I want to share with you today. The first part is getting visible in the meeting room. Now, what I mean by this is that whether we are intentionally doing it or not, there'll be some meetings where you're more active in the way that you participate, and others where you're taking much more of a participant view. You're taking more of an audience view. So you're sitting at the sidelines and perhaps occasionally asking a question or even just listening. I want you to think about the meeting room as your opportunity to up your visibility. So have a think about how you're leaning in today. Where is it and in which meetings could you really lean in further and become more visible? And yes, that is connected to what you're saying. So you want to be able to perhaps have more share of voice, be able to contribute more and say more things. But that isn't necessarily just about unmuting if you're in a virtual meeting or speaking up if you're in the actual meeting room. This could be also about how you're contributing before the meeting or after the meeting. It could be about how are you getting visible beyond the words that you say. So consider these questions. How do you sit in the meeting? It's a small detail, but it really matters. The way you sit can either be very recessive and passive, or it can look like you're very actively involved in the meeting, that you're leaning in. Even virtually, you can get more visible just by the way you're leaning into the camera and making yourself more seen, making sure that your lighting is clear, that people can see you fully, that you have a really visible professional background. So consider these questions. How are you leaning in through the way that you're sitting? If you're presenting, how are you standing or moving? What are you doing with your hands to emphasize what you're saying, to show what you're demonstrating, what you're saying is important, so you can use your hands to emphasize those words? How are you leaning in through the way you use your facial expressions, your eye contact? There is so much that is wrapped up in this, and I have touched on some of these themes in previous episodes, but I want you to really consider it in the opportunity of increasing your visibility. So, visibility isn't just about talking louder, it is absolutely thinking about your share of voice and thinking about your share of presence, your share of physical presence. So, really consider that question. Inside the meeting room, how do you get more visible? From there, I want you to think about in your organization. So, with this, I want you to ask yourself the question, do people understand what I do? Even if your job title is very similar to others around you, and there is a common understanding of what your role is about, I want you to really think about how could you explain what you uniquely do? What is different in the way that you do this role and deliver what you do compared to others who have exactly the same job title as you? This is important. When you're thinking about becoming a global leader, when you're thinking about getting promoted, this is really where you need to consider how people understand what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. Once you've got that clear, then you need to make sure you understand who needs to see what you're doing. That isn't just your direct line manager, for sure. It is absolutely considering some of the wider senior management team. If you're looking for a promotion within your current organization, are you clear about what that process is and who are the key decision makers when it comes to that? Do they have regular contact with you? Are they understanding some of the wins that you're bringing to the team and your organization? If not, you need to start thinking about this. How do you share your wins on a regular basis? How do you more regularly have contact with these people so they get to know you? That could be, for example, through if you have an organization that runs regular informal networking or get to know with senior managers, making sure you're there and talking to those people so they get to know you personally. It could also be considering what type of projects exist across the organization. So, could you volunteer to be involved with certain initiatives or projects that have impacts on the organizational culture or ways of working? And that would be another great way to get the exposure and get more visible in front of people who don't know you so well, but are key to your promotion and being seen. The third element of getting visible is really about what happens, the sphere outside your organization, so the professional circle. And this is one that if you've been working with one company for a little while, it can be easy to forget this. It can be easy to forget that actually getting visible isn't just what happens within your company or within your organization, it's what happens outside as well. So, first of all, I want you to look at your LinkedIn. When was the last time you updated your LinkedIn profile? For many people that I work with and talk to, it was the last time they were job searching. And if that's the case, that could be several years for you. And that would mean, therefore, that your LinkedIn profile isn't an accurate representation of you today, the wins that you're bringing, the value that you bring, the strengths that you have. So go back to the first question I asked you, who are you? And build that into your LinkedIn profile. It certainly isn't a place that is just an online CV. It's a place where people get to know you outside your organization. And this certainly is important, particularly if you're looking for a step up to become a global leader in a new organization. The other thing to think about with LinkedIn is how do you take it forward to build your personal brand and enhance your reputation. So, thinking about the wins, the capture of all the great projects and tasks that you're delivering, don't be shy about sharing these externally as well. Write a post, tag others, make sure the good news is getting out there and that people know what you're fully capable of and what you bring. The other part of thinking about your professional reputation is thinking about how you are known in your industry. It is quite important that you are part of either an industry organization or you're networking with others who have a similar background to yourself. This is a brilliant way for others to get to know you and again provide opportunities for you to put up your hand and potentially volunteer to do things like talks, workshops, even to be part of panels so people really understand your expertise, your thought leadership on specific topics, and this can enhance your opportunities to become a global leader in your next role. So there we have it. 3 core areas that I want you to think about when it becomes to getting more visible. I want you to start with who are you? and then getting visible inside the meeting room, inside your organization, and externally outside your organization. So let me ask you, are you clear on your unique value today? Have you got that clear in your mind? And then, of the three key spheres of influence, where is it you need to pay most attention to and put some work into to make sure that you're enhancing your visibility? I would love to know. So feel free to reach out to me and message me on LinkedIn to let me know where your action plan is. Now, if this is important to you and you are determined and committed to become a global leader this year and not wait for 2025 to come around, then I would love to invite you to my next free training experience. This is coming up at the end of September 2024, and that's in a few weeks' time at the time of this recording. And this is a very special 3-day experience, virtually online, 1 hour per day, where you're going to learn what you need and what it takes to become a global leader. We're going to talk about how to enhance your personal brand. We're going to talk about how to speak in a compelling, bold, and confident way. We're going to talk about your leadership presence and how to project authority. Now, this is for you if you are talented and ambitious, you're already underway with your career, and you know you are ready, more than ready, for that next step, and you're sick of waiting for that promotion. You want to make it happen now. If you'd love to join me, then I would love for you to be there. The way that you can access your free ticket, so this is completely free training, is go to www.culturecuppa.com/become-leader. And I will put the link to that in the show notes. In the meantime, thank you so much for joining me here today. It's been absolutely brilliant to be back recording another solo episode for you on this very important topic. And I very much look forward to seeing you next time on Global Communication Confidence.